I can't talk about anything before. I'm not going to talk about it. You can't use it. It's not appropriate. I don't condone it. For the record, that doesn't exist, and please, I'm doing this again so that you can have something new to talk about. I feel bad about wasting your time before, so.
Well, can you tell me why you can't talk about it?
No. I don't really know. I just, I did something I didn't have the right to do. It was an art project, creative project. It was a social statement, and that's as much as I can say. I infringed on some things, and that wasn't legal, nor was it appropriate. So I can't. That's as much as I can say about that. And I'm fortunate that we came to a amicable agreement settlement. So
okay,
we can move on, and that's as much of that as you can have, use, or even mention. How's that?
Say it again.
1, 2 checker, microphone checker.
Yeah.
Is that working? There's some samples coming in, so I got to put some of these boxes together and get them ready. I have 252 pairs of sneakers that are going to go out, that are going to be out in the stores. About 30 or 40 of those will be more select, direct to people. But between A-Life and clientele, they're going to get at least 200, or close to it, I guess.
I respect Ari a lot because he wants to show that he wants to start his own sneaker brand. Meaning, like, he wants to, he wants to do something original. And I respect that. I had to get this. I definitely had to get this.
I was looking at the tag, the back of the tag. It says blah 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 blah, a whole bunch of corporate crap, and then it says made in China or something like that. I saw pictures of it. It was crazy.
They seem unique, different. Like, they're not your normal sneaker, and there seems to be some history behind them, some common knowledge made when they made the sneaker. I guess to educate people, to show them that there's really more going on in society than you really think, that there are connections everywhere, as in Newport and Nike. The upside down check is basically Newport, so you got to think about it. And they look really cool too. So
to me, it was very interesting to see that there are two companies and two corporations that have the same genius in terms of branding. They even have some of the same iconology to them between the two particular brands, and how one is seen as very harmless and the other one is seen as a complete evil. Yet they both, are affecting families, taking food away from people, maybe possibly destroying the quality of life, enhancing the quality of life, making people happy, giving people a momentary relief from the pressures of their day.
Can I really say no, I'm not addicted to sneakers when I'm out here at like all times of the night waiting for a pair of sneakers? So yes, you can be addicted to sneakers and you can be addicted to cigarettes, but to varying degrees. You can quit your addiction to sneakers, I really believe so, easier than you can quit nicotine.
Tobacco in particular have this clearly on paper deadly product. This product has been known to do horrible, horrible things, to destroy families, to kill people. And sneakers, you just wouldn't associate that way. And nor should you. I mean, it isn't really quite that way, but there are some parallels. And that some of the guys that I grew up with in my hood would easily be brainwashed enough to feel that the sneaker and the look was so important that they might not get Pampers for their kids, or some formula, or just take care of some bills. They might push a bill off.
I can't live without sneakers. I buy like $2,000 worth of shoes a month.
Really?
Really, like no joke. I work. I got money. I work my butt off just to buy kicks all the time.
You develop a sort of desire or need for them that never goes away. Maybe it's like anything. It's like the dream of wealth, the desire of wealth. I mean, once it's sold to you enough in movies and advertising, you want it. You might not necessarily ever need it. You might not be the type of guy that needs $100 million. You just may need to get by to be happy.
So what number are you online?
Number 1.
And what time did you get here?
I got here yesterday.
What?
Before everybody else.
And you do this often?
Oh yeah, I've camped out around 5 times already, 5-6 times.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just like something to do,
You willing to spend a lot of money on sneakers? Or
Yeah, I'm willing to spend.
Why?
Because it's my habit. Like, I just love sneakers.
A lot of people walk by and they ask, what are you guys waiting for? When you say sneakers, they're like, wow, you're crazy. It's like, I mean, that's my passion. Shoes is my passion. That's how it's all. As it is for all of these kids, man. The shoes is our passion. After you buy one, it means something to you, and like you want to be original, and you know, you just keep buying, and people respect you for that too.
It helps me set myself apart, as it allows you to be either part of the pack and say, hey, I'm part of this particular pack, look at me, I wear these, therefore I'm involved with this scene. Or with me, I use it as a way to say, hey, I'm into this, but I have something, you know, that you don't have. I mean, and that's probably pretty pathetic.
What you got is how you're judged. Like, and everybody gets together and wears their hottest pair of kicks, and that's how people are judged on basically what you wear. It's not who you are, it's what you wear.
If you look back, like whenever they show those pictures from the turn of the century, you know, like cats have top hats and suits, and it didn't matter who you were, Joe Blow, you had a suit on. And you look at pictures of people at like old baseball stadiums, and they all have suits on in the heat. You know, sneakers is just that thing. It's that same thing.
Colors are cool. Like, I love the colors, and I love not to match, so I'm gonna be wearing orange shirts with them.
Going back to the 80s when everybody was wearing like flashy, really bright colors, so that you get really noticed, like, oh my God, he's wearing like neon green.
You think, you know, when you think of something that's colorful, you think of it being alive, having youth to it, being fresh and new. So it should have that automatically. It's just the way life should be, you know, in my mind. But hey, you know, look, gray is nice. Most people just want to be muted. They just want to kind of blend in. They want to wear dark, kind of homogenized colors. And here is this brand that's got this bright orange, bright green, and white. And then they supplement that with gold, and they do the most outrageous stuff. And it never goes with trend. That's those colors no matter what. It's like when you walk by a patch of flowers, it moves you some kind of way. Why is it only used for things that generally have a negative impact on life, alcohol and tobacco or fast food? You're starting to see that in footwear, you know, thanks to some people who came from left field to think about it and brought exciting color to footwear.
Talk about your personal style.
My style? I guess to most people, corny. My only mission is to stand out, and sometimes it happens in a real ridiculous fashion, and sometimes it's smooth. One thing I'm definitely not trying to do is blend in. I don't care. I'll wear fluorescent pink in a minute. That doesn't bother me. A lot of people are just scared to stand out, but us, you know, we wanted to be seen, bright and loud, just like these ads. You know, we're still kids yelling out loud as we deal with being adults. We just want to stand out. You know, the flip side is that I don't drink, I don't smoke, I never did drugs, I never did any of that sort of thing. There's a lot of issues of substance in my family, so I got away from that. I don't endorse what these companies do, but I also, you know, like everything that we've done with my company and my crew, we just try to be honest about it. Whatever you want to do, whatever your addiction is, or whatever you're into, see if you can live with it. Does it affect those around you? Embrace it. I mean, everybody's addicted to something.
You're my man, but you know, so it's gonna hit you. You gotta make the move back. Move back a little bit for me. Thank you. 1-2 step. That's right. Like, how much sleep did you even get?
I got maybe like 30 minutes of sleep.
I was passed out in his car.
4.
I feel like I'm about to die.
You know, the slogan is quality good for tasteless need. And we just like to either wake you up from your dead sleep and give you something adult and something that you can digest and feel good about, or feel bad about. But as long as you know it changes your consciousness a little bit. Newport's owned that logo since I think 1965. Nike's owned that same logo since 1971. Phil Knight grew up watching all the Newport commercials from the 50s and 60s. What seems original may be coming from some whole other place. You can't say that if you grew up on those commercials your whole life, and when you go to create that mark, you don't go, damn, I'm about athletics, and that looks like that cigarette thing. I want people to think. You know, it's the one thing that's had me survive. You know, my childhood was kind of rough in some spots, and the only thing I had was, like, you know, my imagination and the creative aspect. I just want people to think, for better or for worse. Think negative or positive. Just think.
He's 100% original. I like that about that. I don't, you know, can't make fakes of these.
I didn't know how kids would, you know, the people would receive the sneaker. I knew that there was fans out there, and that that if I did this, regardless of how it really came across to people, that there would be people out there that would say, hey, give this guy the benefit of the doubt because he's done some things. And I just hope that, there'd be some people that just would enjoy wearing something foul on their feet like I do, like my crew does. I took the short-term loss for the long-term gain. I can't live with myself if I don't take the risk, because I'm going to sit there wondering, and what if? And risk, when you take risk, there will be good that will come from it.
Are you mental tennis?
Yeah, full metal.
Definitely. Some classic sneakers right here that'll probably be on sneakerheads' minds for a while to come. I still got this. I still got the little chain. Like, everybody knows I have these. I've had people come and offer me $900, $1,000. Like, somebody's like, I need these sneakers. I'll trade you like 6 pairs of sneakers for them. And like me, these are like one of my holy grails. Like, I will never, like, these are gonna be with me for like forever. I'm pretty much not gonna, I don't think I'm ever selling my sneaker collection. Like, you could always get more money, you can't always get the same sneaker, especially limited quantity as this. When are you gonna find another crispy pair in my size, 9.5, when there's only 252 pairs made, you know what I mean?
Well, we sold the sneakers. I just don't wear any of the pairs I used to wear. I gave them all away, and I just bought like the cheapest pairs I can get, like Converse's, Vans, and that's what I wear now. Well, there's a certain point where you put a lot of energy into it, and if you just don't like it at some point, that's it. It's over.
The sneaker hype is over. The sneaker hype is over. People are selling collections. They don't know why they were even collecting. People were spending a ton of money on stuff.
I know a lot of people who've been collecting for years who just stopped. They just felt like there was no point anymore because of the hype.
It just lost its appeal. It just wasn't, like I said before, you do it so that you could, stand out a little, so that, you wouldn't be part of the crowd. And then that actually became the crowd.
Just like more people just builds up, and then, people just like stop collecting out of nowhere, and then like, I don't know, it's just like, there's not too many people you find who are like true in the game. And so like, we decided to put this on my wall because I got it with one of the skateboards I got. And we were just like, this is for all you hypebeasts, don't do it.
Sneakers, went from kind of being just a random thing that people would be into collection-wise to turning into a sport, something to do.
I've seen people spend $10,000 on a pair of sneakers. And like, to me, that's just ridiculous. Like, I would never pay that.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, let me rephrase that. I probably would pay that. If it was like a holy grail, like, there's sneakers that are like, you would just do anything for, a holy grail. Like, I probably would pay something like a ridiculous amount, like maybe like a down payment on a car for a pair of sneakers. I wouldn't even front.
Really?
Yeah, I probably would, yeah.
So why do you still have this addiction?
I don't know, like, just being noticed, like being somebody who's just like, not just like every other person, you know what I mean? That's why I became into collecting sneakers, like, because I'm not like every other person.
Getting the sneakers was like, it was good, but I think most people just enjoyed the camp out to the sneakers. You'd have a lot of stories the next day. Having the sneakers, wearing them, and having people ask you about them, that was also great. But after a while, since everybody knew about them, you never got questions because everybody knew anyways.
Everyone's doing it, and it's not so special anymore. Another 10, 15 years, the fad will be back, But right now, it's calming down, and they get back down to people who just want to do it because they just like doing something.
Not a lot of people are like into sneakers anymore. Like, all right, forget it. I'm not gonna buy sneakers. I'm gonna buy a car. You know what I mean? Like, people are thinking more logically. So I mean,
It's supposed to you.
It's supposed to me. I mean, like non-sneakerhead people. I'm talking about people who are not sneakerheads. Like people who are just trend followers.
People aren't afraid of color anymore, and that's it's fantastic. But what do you do when everybody around you looks like a field of flowers? I guess you have to go back to being the rock. You know what I mean? So, color is relevant, man, and for me, it's, as you can see, I'm kind of devoid of it here, but it's the splash of color.
There's this struggle for everybody to look different, but when they all try and look different, they all look alike, because they're all doing the same things anyways. You stand out more looking plain these days than you do actually, looking crazy.
But most people are trying to find the category and then try and stand out within their category. And I mean, that's, whether you're on the golf course or you're on the corner. It's the same mission, is that you want to be accepted and then stand out. I'm not saying that I'm any different. Anybody who acts like they aren't fitting into some sort of look or trying to be down with some group of people is definitely not telling you the truth. The new thing now is sneakers are corny and I love shoes, which is it's the same shit over and over. And things have gotten tighter since we last talked, I think. There's some people whose job it is to try and be one of the first people or the early adapters to do something, and then they get to say, yeah, that shit over there is played out. And those people, man, those are people who are always ahead but never capitalize. I'm not gonna put a sneaker out there that's just a cool colorway or a shoe that's just a classic look. If there's no concept, if I'm not making fun of somebody, if I'm not spoofing something, if it's not the best bootleg in the business or the most original foul concept, then the fuck is the point? As you see, it says halal, and the other one said kosher. Which basically those two things mean the same thing, which is the meat is acceptable by religious law. But the real foul part about it is this leather is actually pig suede. Creativity is the commodity of the future. The thing that sets you apart is creativity. And when you're executing or chasing a creative idea, you take a certain amount of risk.
Are you bitter about not being able to talk about this other stuff?
No. I did something without thinking about it completely through, and I paid a price for it.
Did you get anything out of it, though?
I learned a lot of things out of it. I did, about where the boundaries are. That just because something is creative doesn't mean that it can be, I just really can't talk about it. Okay. Let's just say that some ideas you can do, some you can't. Every society has its rules and regulations, and if you push too hard, you'll learn the lesson the hard way. I did what I did. Now it's over. And I've moved on.
Okay.
Yeah.